The first time I lost weight, I lost 100 pounds. The second time I lost weight, I lost 41 pounds in 11 months. And if I wanted to lose weight a third time, I'd want to lose 15 pounds. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to lose 15 pounds by the end of this year. Which brings me to the first thing I'm going to do. Create a meal plan versus if it fits your macros. I'd choose a meal plan, otherwise I choose the fuck around and find out method. And knowing me, it would be a lot of finding out about why I can't be left to my own devices. If I can track once and create a meal plan for every day and just stay consistent with that, that is going to give me the most results. And I know what you're saying, that's boring. Sometimes you have to consider boring for a season of life to get the outcome that you want. Sometimes your life has to be boring, but boring isn't a bad thing. There's also tons of ways that you can make your food actually taste good and still be healthy and eat in a calorie deficit. The simpler you can keep what you're eating, the easier it's going to be for you. And the more you can just eat food that you are making yourself at home, the better result you're going to get because you're going to have more tracking accuracy versus if you're eating out or eating other foods that you're not 100% certain how much or what you're eating, and then you're trying to make it fit your macros at the end of the day, but it's actually not fitting your macros because you don't have solid data for part of the meals. So if you can have a couple of go-to options for what a day of eating looks like and then be consistent with that, you're gonna set yourself up for success over the fuck around and find out if it fits my macros plan. Because that only leaves you playing macro Tetris at the end of the day, trying to make stuff fit that isn't really accurate anyways. Then I'll do silly things like fill my carbs with chips instead of sweet potatoes, which chips give me no nutritional value and they'd be very low in volume compared to the calories, especially if you compare it to something like a sweet potato where you can get more volume for the same amount of calories. And when you're in a calorie deficit, volume matters to keep you feeling full, as well as getting enough nutrient density into yourself when you're eating less calories of food. Bringing me to number 2, I'm setting a step goal that's 20% more than my current average daily steps. When you're creating a calorie deficit, you only have so many levers that you can pull. Your input and your output need to be in alignment or working together to get you to the goal. For me, it's always better for me to increase my output versus decreasing my input until I no longer have the time required to increase my output, then I will decrease my input. So to put that in words that maybe make more sense, I'll increase my steps until I just don't have the time to walk anymore in the day before I start cutting my calories more. Otherwise, if you just reduce your calories or if you increase your activity while reducing your calories, it creates such an extreme deficit that it feels like you're just white knuckling it through life. And let's face it, you can only white knuckle it for so long before you're gonna fly right off the ride. A sweet spot for me without having to change too much about how my day-to-day life looks is about 10 to 12,000 steps a day. Or big picture, that's about 70 to 84,000 steps in a week. And if I look at it that way, sometimes I'll have days where I have more time to be active versus days that I'm busy in meetings all day. So if I only get 8,000 one day, I can get 12,000 or 14,000 on a Sunday when I don't have a lot going on. These are all great ways to increase your average steps in a sustainable, maintainable way without the attitude of one flat tire and you slash the other 3 or throwing the baby out with the bathwater or whatever, however that one goes. Basically, it gives you some room for fucking up and it allows you to give yourself some grace. Bringing me to number 3, I'm gonna add 1 day to my strength training schedule. So if you're currently at 3, you can go to 4. If you're currently at 4, you can go to 5. If you're not doing anything, maybe start at 3. If 3 seems out of reach, just start at 1. Something's better than nothing. For me, just adding 1 is gonna create a little bit more output for me, so I don't have to reduce my input yet. Starting with 3 workouts a week could look something like a push, pull, and accessory day, meaning on your push day, you're doing things like squats, chest press. On your pull day, you're doing things like Romanian deadlifts, pull-ups, hip thrusts, pull downs, all things pulling. And on your accessory day, you're doing things like bicep curls, tricep push downs, cable crunches, etc. If you're gonna do a 4-day split, I'd start with those 3 and add in another leg focused day. Because your legs have the potential to have a lot of muscle. That's where the majority of the muscle in your body is in your legs for a woman. So I'd throw in another day that focuses on building muscle in your lower half and your posterior chain. And then if you're gonna work out 5 days a week, I'd throw in another full body day on top of that prioritizes more of the big compound lifts. Following something like this is gonna give you the most bang for your buck in building muscle and maintaining that muscle in combination with getting enough protein while you're in a calorie deficit. And I know this because it's what I did when I prepped for my bodybuilding show. And I had a DEXA scan done, which is your body composition, bone mass, all these things, before I started prep and a couple days before my show. And my muscle mass was the same, while my body fat percentage went from about 20% to 13%. So it is possible to maintain your muscle while you're in a calorie deficit if you play your cards right. Bringing me to number 4, aligning your fitness goals with your life. Having conversations with the people close to you in your life about what your goals are is super important. For me, when I was prepping for my bodybuilding show, I had to have conversations with my business partner because I wasn't going to have as much time to focus on the things that I normally do, which meant she would have to pick up some of the slack where I wasn't able to. I had to have conversations with my children because I wasn't going to have enough time to prioritize them as I normally do if I'm focusing more of my time and energy and bandwidth on myself. And then having conversations with the people close to me, like my friends and family, to make sure they're all on board and supporting as well is super important. Because if I go to like a family function and I'm bringing my meal so that I know what I'm eating and I feel some kind of way about that, I'm more likely to just give in and not eat my meal and do a full send on dinner because of this pressure that I'm imposing on myself that might not even be there if I just have a conversation. So if I let the people know, hey, I've got these goals, this is why I'm doing this, I'm prioritizing this, it's not you, it's not that I don't like your food, I'm not trying to offend you, it's just that these goals are really important to me right now and this is what I need to do in order to be able to hit them. I love you, I'm gonna come, I'm gonna hang out, I just might not eat the food that you have there. It's not you, it's me. You can look at it this way. You have a lot of plants that you need to water in life, but you only have a finite amount of water. You've got like a 1 liter watering canister. And if you need to put more water into this plant because it's been a little bit neglected, or maybe even some fertilizer, you don't have as much to put into these other plants. And so just have a conversation with the plants.
Hey little plant, I've been neglecting this plant over here, and so I need to take a little bit more water and put it over into this plant. Are you cool with that for now?
Cool. Another way you need to align your fitness with your life is your time. For the people that say, I'm too busy, or I don't have time, you have to do a time audit and be brutally honest with yourself about where you're spending your time. Because just like the water in your watering can is finite, so is your time. You only have so much in a day. And so it's super important that you're prioritizing it in the same ways that you're prioritizing your goals. So you need to do a time audit and literally track where you're spending like every minute of the day. And then look big picture, where am I spending my time in ways that are getting me farther from where I want to be instead of investing my time and doing the things that are getting me closer to where I want to be. So after you write down where you're spending all of your time throughout the day, zoom out and take a look at it and ask yourself if where you're spending your time is in alignment with your goals. Is it serving you? You need to understand how to align things with your life and your fitness goals that work for you, not against you. And maybe the way that you're using your time is legit, like that's all the time you have. But if you want a different outcome, something's going to have to change. So there's going to have to be some area in your life where you spend a little less time, you take a little less water from that plant and you put it into this one. Because the requirement is the requirement and you're going to have to change something if you want change. Change takes change. Was it the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result? That's the same thing here. If you want to create change in your body, in your health and fitness, you're going to have to change the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Which brings me to number 5. I'm gonna hire a coach. I know how to lose weight. It's really not that hard. Or maybe the wording is, it's simple, but not easy. But I know how to lose weight. I know how to get other women to lose weight. It's what we do. That being said, I'd rather just hire someone else that I trust, that has my back, that I can just follow the plan and I don't have to be emotionally invested in it. I also have a tendency to think that I'm not doing enough, no matter what it is, and then I overdo it. You probably do too. Sometimes this works against me because I try to do more than I need to. And like I said earlier, you can only do so much. You can only white knuckle and hang on for so long. And if you're overdoing what you need to, it's going to be harder to hang on. So I need someone else who knows what enough looks like for me so I don't have to decide. and I can just trust and run the play. When I'm looking for a coach, I'm gonna take a look in the mirror at myself and what I know about me and what I need. I know I'm an emotional eater, so I'll look for a coach that understands my specific struggle in life. If you're a mom, hire someone who is a mom or who currently works with moms to get them the same result that you want. I'll hire someone who's either been in my shoes or works with people who are in my shoes. And make sure that coach has and offers what you want, not the story you tell yourself about it. Like if I was a vegan or a vegetarian, I likely wouldn't hire me as a coach if I needed help with my nutrition because that's not my wheelhouse. If I had my nutrition under control and just wanted some workouts and some mindset, then yeah, maybe. But that's where I need to know what I need personally when I'm looking at hiring a coach and making sure that that coach offers those things. If I was looking to prep for a bodybuilding show, I wouldn't hire me either because that's not my wheelhouse. But what we are really good at is helping women over 35 lose 20 pounds in 12 weeks sustainably and keep it off long term. We have loads of good reviews. So if that's you, there's an application in the description. And if not, all good. I make these videos for you guys. And if you're trying to get fit as fast as possible for you, watch this video next where I talk about the 7 weight loss mistakes that kept me fat for years.